Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to the channel, where we meticulously track the most compelling and often dramatic movements within the hallowed halls of the British monarchy. Today, we are peeling back the layers on a truly extraordinary internal conflict, a confrontation that pits the future of the crown against the lingering shadow of past scandals. We are discussing a stunning move reportedly orchestrated by Prince William, the Prince of Wales, who appears to be taking a decidedly strict, almost uncompromising stance regarding his disgraced uncle, Prince Andrew, and the delicate position of his cousins, Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie. The stakes could not be higher. The preservation of their cherished royal titles hangs in the balance, a consequence of their father's ongoing refusal to vacate the sprawling, historic residence known as Royal Lodge. Before we delve into the intricate details of this royal power play, please take a moment to show your support. If you appreciate these deep dives into the complexities of the Windsor family, do remember to tap that like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support ensures we can continue bringing you these exclusive, in-depth reports. The erosion of standing. Andrew and Fergie's forced retreat. The narrative begins, as many royal dramas do these days, with Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, the Duke and Duchess of York. For those who may not have been following the day-to-day developments, the Duke and Duchess have faced a profound and rather public fall from grace. Following years of intense scrutiny and the devastating fallout from Prince Andrew's association with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, coupled with that infamous 2019 television interview, the couple found their status as working royals irrevocably stripped away. This dramatic erosion of standing has led to significant practical consequences, most notably the pressure for them to relinquish their tenancy at the venerable Royal Lodge. This massive royal mansion, a property steeped in history and located within the vast confines of Windsor Great Park, has been their primary residence for decades. However, maintaining such an expansive estate comes with colossal financial burdens, costs which King Charles III, in his determined effort to slim down the monarchy and rationalize its expenses, is no longer willing to underwrite for non-working members of the family, particularly those who have brought such disrepute to the institution. The unspoken agreement, the clear directive from Buckingham Palace, has been that the Duke and Duchess of York must vacate Royal Lodge. Yet the transition has been anything but smooth. Reports indicate that the former working royals, despite their diminished status, have attempted to negotiate, even dictate, the terms of their next dwelling. They have reportedly presented a set of conditions directly to King Charles, their sovereign and brother-in-law, demanding not one but two separate, distinct royal houses for their relocation. This is a crucial detail that speaks volumes about their expectations, even in exile. Prince Andrew, still clinging to a sense of entitlement and proximity to his family, has reportedly set his sights on Frogmore Cottage. This property, of course, carries significant recent history, having been the former principal residence of Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, before their departure for North America. It is a substantial property, recently refurbished, and its very mention ignites memories of previous royal feuds and residential disputes. Meanwhile, Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, or Fergie, as she is affectionately and sometimes controversially known, is said to have fixed her attention upon Adelaide Cottage. This is a far smaller, yet strategically significant residence, located extremely close to Windsor Castle itself, and currently occupied by the Prince and Princess of Wales, William and Catherine. The idea that two separate, high-profile royal residences should be allocated to the exiled couple, particularly given the ongoing financial restraints and the demand for austerity within the firm, has undoubtedly been a source of immense friction behind the scenes. The climate of chaos, protests, and palace nerves, adding considerable complexity and urgency to this residential deadlock, is the volatile atmosphere surrounding Royal Lodge itself. The location has become a focal point of public discontent. It has been reported that there is an active, albeit intermittent, protest movement operating in the vicinity of the sprawling estate. Imagine the scene. A continuous, albeit fluctuating, presence of demonstrators, media personnel, and general public curiosity surrounding one of the most private royal residences. This sustained disruption must be profoundly disturbing, not just for Andrew and Fergie, but for the senior members of the royal family attempting to maintain an air of dignified continuity. The constant media scrutiny and the visual spectacle of protests undermine the desired tranquility and privacy necessary for the smooth functioning of the monarchy. It is against this backdrop of financial dispute, residential demands, and public unrest that Prince William, the second in line to the throne, has reportedly stepped in with a definitive, and some might call it brutal, solution. William's hardline, the threat to the titles. The details of Prince William's possible strict intervention were brought to light by a source with undeniable royal insight, Emily Maitlis. Maitlis, the highly respected journalist and former BBC presenter, is perhaps best known for conducting the infamously disastrous 2019 Newsnight interview with Prince Andrew, an interview widely regarded as the catalyst for his ultimate public downfall. Maitlis shared her explosive claims on the newsagent's podcast, asserting that the future King William had taken the initiative to hold a private, high-stakes meeting with his cousins, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. The essence of the meeting, according to Maitlis's understanding, was nothing less than an ultimatum. She claimed with significant confidence that the conversation was focused squarely on forcing Prince Andrew's hand. In her own words, Maitlis suggested the discussion revolved around the necessity of the princesses using their influence to compel their father to vacate Royal Lodge. She stated explicitly, "There was a question over whether there had been, earlier in the day, a meeting between Prince William and the princesses, Beatrice and Eugenie, saying, 'You guys have to get your dad to move out of Royal Lodge, otherwise we will start re-examining the state of your own titles.'" This is a statement of tremendous gravity. To re-examine the state of your own titles is a thinly veiled yet powerful threat to strip them of their status, their security, and their entire aristocratic identity. While Beatrice and Eugenie are not senior working royals, they hold the distinguished style of Her Royal Highness and the title of Princess, positions inherited directly through their father. Should William, as the future sovereign, decide that the toxic association with their father's public scandal is too damaging to the wider institution, removing these titles serves as the ultimate leverage. For Beatrice and Eugenie, this places them in an agonizing position. They are caught between their deep filial loyalty to their father and the absolute necessity of safeguarding their own future positions within the royal family, which is directly tied to the goodwill and authority of their cousin, Prince William, and their uncle, King Charles. William, the Prince of Wales, is demonstrating a clear-eyed, unsentimental approach to protecting the reputation of the crown. He is signaling that the era of tolerance for the Duke of York's continued defiance and entitlement is over, and he is willing to use the most potent weapon available, the threat of social and institutional erasure, to achieve his objective. The King's near miss, a crisis averted. The sheer scale of the chaos surrounding Royal Lodge, fueled by the protests and the relentless media interest, reached such a crescendo that it even directly impacted the movements of the reigning monarch, King Charles III. Emily Maitlis provided another remarkable detail that underscores the level of anxiety this entire situation has generated within the royal court. She claimed that, following a high-profile visit to the Vatican, King Charles was scheduled, or at least intended, to pass by Royal Lodge. This route would have allowed the king to either observe the situation directly or perhaps make a discreet, unscheduled stop. However, the palace officials, those tasked with managing the logistics and the reputation of the sovereign, became very nervous about the scene unfolding around the massive royal mansion. The combination of the continuing protests and the intense media presence was deemed far too volatile. Maitlis described the atmosphere of panic among the staff, sharing, "When they saw the choppers and helicopters, they thought, this has all got too big, this has got out of control, they canceled the whole thing. The king just went straight home and never came by." The image of the King of the United Kingdom being forced to reroute his journey, canceling a flyby of a royal residence due to the sheer volume of media and public disturbance caused by his brother's refusal to move, speaks volumes about the extent of the reputational crisis Andrew continues to inflict upon the monarchy. The sight of helicopters, likely both media and security, swarming the area suggested an uncontrolled environment, a spectacle that the palace simply could not allow the king to be associated with, particularly immediately following a significant diplomatic visit like the one to the Vatican. The optics of the sovereign navigating what amounted to a media circus were unacceptable. The implications for the future monarchy. Prince William's alleged meeting with Beatrice and Eugenie signifies a crucial turning point in his evolution as the future king. He is clearly moving away from the more passive, consensus-driven approach sometimes employed by previous generations and adopting a far more assertive managerial role. The threat to re-examine the titles of his cousins is a demonstration of hard power. It establishes a precedent. Loyalty to the institution and adherence to the directives of the sovereign must supersede personal familial loyalty, especially when the family member in question has caused such profound damage. For Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, the clock is ticking. They are now faced with an unenviable choice. Either they successfully persuade their notoriously stubborn father to comply with the king's demands and vacate royal lodge, thereby securing their own status and the future of their children, or they risk the very real possibility of losing their princely titles. This outcome would result in a substantial downgrade of their royal identity, a move that would be seismic within the family structure. The demand for two separate residences, Frogmore Cottage for Andrew and Adelaide Cottage for Fergie, also reveals a deep resistance to acknowledging the reality of their current standing. King Charles, supported by Prince William, is attempting to create a streamlined, efficient, and financially sustainable monarchy. The insistence on prime, high-cost properties for non-working royals who are currently exiled from public duties is seen, from the palace's perspective, not just as inconvenient, but as actively undermining the king's vision. The Royal Lodge standoff is thus more than a property dispute. It is a battle for the soul and reputation of the House of Windsor. It is about accountability, and whether even the closest members of the royal family can operate outside the rules without facing severe institutional consequences. William is demonstrating that his commitment to the crown outweighs his loyalty to his cousins or his uncle. He is enforcing the boundaries necessary to safeguard the legitimacy of the monarchy for the next generation. The fact that Emily Maitlis, the journalist who played such an integral role in exposing the initial scandal, is the one reporting this latest escalation, adds a layer of historical irony and credibility to the claim. Conclusion and your thoughts. What we are witnessing is the difficult, often painful, process of institutional cleansing within the royal family. Prince William, the Prince of Wales, has reportedly delivered a clear and compelling set of instructions to Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie, making the preservation of their royal titles contingent upon their success in persuading their father, Prince Andrew, to finally leave the contested royal lodge. This drama, fueled by the financial demands of the exiled Duke and Duchess of York, seeking Frogmore and Adelaide cottages respectively, and compounded by the unsettling public protests that even forced King Charles to alter his itinerary, underscores the precariousness of the York family's position. The threat to re-examine their titles is the strongest possible signal that the time for negotiation is over, and the time for compliance is now. This event certainly gives us much to reflect upon regarding the future management of the monarchy and the hard choices that Prince William is willing to make to ensure the institution's stability. What are your thoughts on this extraordinary alleged ultimatum? Do you believe Prince William is justified in using the threat of stripping titles to force Prince Andrew's hand? And how difficult a position do you think this places Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie in? Please share your opinions and insights in the comment section below. We truly value your perspective on these complex royal matters. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more in-depth reports, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next update on the shifting dynamics within the British royal family. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.